Hi, I'm Chuck with Fish Fighter Products. I know I keep saying it over and over, but here we are again from the inside of my shop. It's the middle of winter, we're all froze up outside, but we just got some products we just cannot wait to share with you, so we wanted to make some quick introductory videos. Today I want to talk a little bit about our tackle tender and our rod tenders, and we're ever excited about these two products and bringing them to the market and sharing some of the features. You know, a lot of you that are trolling, you're running your fish flashes, you're running 360s, you're running Dodgers, kokanee fishing, trout fishermen are running these smaller Dodger or flashers. You got a lot of gear when you reel in to deal with. And where do you put all that? Well, currently we kind of lay it out on the boat, or things get tangled, and then you start to get inefficient and can lead to a frustrating day. So the first thing we're going to talk about is our tackle tender, and we offer this in a right-hand version, so it will mount this way and go forward, or the left-hand version that I'm demoing you. I also want to point out that the bolt patterns right here will bolt to just about any fishing rod holder or gunnel mount out there. We haven't found one that doesn't fit this bolt pattern. So what happens is when you reel in and you got all that stuff, you take your rod out of the holder, you don't know where to put it. Well, what we've done is, let me go ahead and get this out of the way so you can see better. I'll move this rod holder out of the way. So what we've done is we've created two little J's right here that you just snap the rod in and it holds it into position. And the reason we did the bottom one, if you don't have that bottom hook and you hook your rod in there, as you're hitting waves, your rod's going to just start bouncing out like this into the boat. But by doing these two, it locks it firmly in an upright position. Another thing we did is we got rid of all the stretch cords that people use that you got to tie knots, and we went to a industrial grade rubber O-ring, and we do have these as replacement parts. They're easy to replace. But as you just you just quickly snap your rod in and it holds your rod in an up and down position. And this fits most rods out there, depending on your gunnel height. Typically all salmon rods that you would use, inshore rods, no problem at all. It's designed to fit all of them. But then what to do with all of this when it comes in? So typically when you're reeling in, the first thing that's going to come in is your sinker. So we made this sinker holder right here, and it'll hold sinkers from 5 ounces up to 24 ounces. Another thing we did is we've laser cut a hole in the bottom of it, so as you're going through the waves, your sinkers aren't rolling back and forth. It holds it in one spot. Then typically if you're using a rudder, it comes up next and it'll drop right into this slot. And then whether you're using a fish flash or you're using a 360 flasher, it locks into that spot. You know, if you're using Kwik fish on anchor fishing, or if you're got herring or smelt or anchovies or anything like that, it lays right here in the bait tray. And then we also machined in a spot here for the Fish Fighter bait towel, and this is something that Cody Herman come up with for us, and that is a spot to clip these so that everybody on the boat has a bait towel. So here you got everything, you've reeled it all in, you can clean your hands out. Now when it's time to put everything back out, you'll just toss your bait out, then out goes your flasher, then out goes your rudder, then you drop your sinker in, then out goes the rod, and then put it back in the rod holder and you're fishing. So this is our tackle tender. So there's a lot of people out there that maybe don't use all of this, like kokanee fishermen. I troll a lot for crappie. So we made what's called our rod tender. And again, it'll bolt to any other gunnel mount. You can flush mount it. It's all the same pattern. Here we've mounted it to one of our gunnel rail mounts, and then we've used our quick release system so we could have a offset quick release rod holder on it. But this one's just a scaled down version, our rod tender is, and you can just slip your rod holder in. But maybe instead of using a sinker here, you might want to put some crappie nibbles, or you want to put a little bit of lunker lotion. It gives you a spot to hold that. I'll undo this carabiner. There's also a carabiner slot right here so you can lock your fish fighter bait towel. Austin Moser does a lot of walleye fishing, and he wanted to make sure that we got a spot for your bottom bouncer. So we have a slot right there. If you guys are using bottom bouncers, it'll store right there out of the way. So as you can see, this is just a very useful product, especially on these open bow boats. On my hardtop boat, I have round rails on the, I have these going in on the flush mount. They're going to be directly bolted right to the gunnel mount, so I got a spot to store rods in there. A little bit about the construction. So we make this out of marine grade starboard. It's pretty expensive stuff, but we think it's the best out there. And then we have an aluminum back to it right there. We make this right here at our shop in Idaho. Just so excited to bring this to you. I can hardly contain myself. I hope this really answered a lot of questions for you, and I hope to see you out on the water.